Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I got my man Clutch with me here today from the ClutchGU team. We're ClutchGU teammates, and we're gonna be going over some war cards. How's it going, Clutch?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And congrats on your big win with the TST tournament too.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a great tournament. Close
Most
games. Good
definitely.
games.
All right, so we'll start it off with the one mana cards. The first one we're gonna be looking at is Bar Fight. So deal 1 damage to each character. If you're frenzied, deal 1 damage to each enemy character instead. So note this does say character, so that's gonna hit the gods as well. And it reminds me of Orc Rush a lot. What do you think about this card?
Yeah, it is literally Orc Rush, except you run this one in aggro decks. Because of the frenzied mechanic. So, you know, Vikings or something, it's like Orc Rush can't target face, this can. So it's just helps you get frenzied, and I mean, you know, the effects of frenzied. Or a week into the set, we know the effects of frenzied. It's crazy. So I have been seeing this card around, and I think it's strong.
Yeah, I do too. I'd probably run this over Orc Rush in a aggro deck. I mean, you could argue you could run it alongside Orc Rush in like a more control deck if you were, you know, I think of like using this to get rid of the cats. You know, just another tool to hit hidden creatures, but overall, pretty good card.
Yeah, you might run it with Orc Rush and control, specifically for deception, but
Right.
in aggro, you definitely run this one.
Yeah, it seems good. Next, we have Echoing Fury, and I haven't seen this card played too much. It's a 1 mana blessed, so you do get to pick a blessed effect, and it just gives Twin Strike to one of your creatures. And I'm not too hot on this card. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing though. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm not feeling this one either. I don't even know, like it seems like a lot of value for 1 mana, the blessed and the twin strike, but it's just like it's not doing anything. The
Yeah,
blessed isn't really doing anything. The twin strike isn't really doing anything. I don't think it's very good. Unless I'm missing something.
I think there's better cards to run. Like, I mean, War already has plenty of Twin Strike creatures. Trojan Battle
Yeah, exactly.
Mage, Nakvi Pillager. There's another one we're gonna be looking at here in a minute that can give a creature Twin Strike. I think there's just better cards than this to run.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. So this next one I did see quite a bit this weekend especially. It's the Nakvi Warrior. So 1 mana, 3/1, and its roar effect is if you are frenzied, give blitz to this creature. So if you have frenzied and if you're playing an aggro deck, there's a good chance you will have frenzy. It's a 3/1 with blitz, also a Viking. I think this card seems pretty good.
Yeah, I like this card. In aggro war, it's good that like if they play a front line, first thing that comes to my mind is Olympian Guard or something. You Slayer, this can rush into it. It's very aggressively statted, so I think it's a good card. And I did see it this weekend as well. And it's a Viking. Like this card's actually kind of crazy.
It's pretty good. I think you could also say that in like a control deck, an onslaught deck, you could blitz this out. You wouldn't even need frenzy. I guess it'd be a 3 mana with blitz. A three mana 3/1 with blitz. I don't know if that's that great, but it's just pretty good overall, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, next we've got Spoils of War. I saw this one a little bit, not too much, but it's 1 mana, pull a random creature from your deck into your hand. If you're frenzied, give it +1/+1. So it's kind of similar to Out of Its Misery. Not as good in my opinion, but what do you think?
Yeah, it's just worse than Out of Its Misery, but that card is busted. So I'm not sure if you would run this. It's 1 mana draw a card, buff it. I mean, that's not terrible, but
Yeah.
it's just nowhere near as good as Out of Its Misery. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see this at all.
I saw it a couple times, and like I think some of these aggro decks, like you don't normally see card draw in too many aggro decks or tempo decks. Not that it's bad, but you know that usually people are prioritizing like smaller mana creatures. Yeah, again, I just think there's better cards to run.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, next we have Hearts of Bronze. We're already at 2 mana, and I believe this card was previewed. It's a 2 mana, give +1 armor to each of your creatures, which doesn't seem too bad. I mean, it's definitely situational. I mean, you have to have a board for this to be useful. 1 armor isn't too much, but I don't know. I could see how this could maybe be good sometimes.
I'm not sure. It seems like a win more card. Like you already have the board, and then you play Hearts of Bronze, and you know if you're war at that point, this game, I think the game's over already. Seems a little useless to run. Like if you're behind, it's literally useless, and if you're ahead, I mean you're already winning. You know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
Maybe if it was one mana, you could like play creatures, and then play this in the same turn. But 2 feels a little heavy. I mean, games are over at turn 6. You know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the games I play at least. So.
For sure. Yeah, I'd also say like there's probably just better cards you can run than this one. So we'll move on. So this next card I saw quite a bit this weekend.
Yeah.
Is the Inspiring Scout. I'm having an issue with like the card loading. There we go. So it's a 2 mana, and it's a 2 mana 2/3 Viking, and has a roar effect. Give +1/+1 to a random creature in your hand. If you are frenzied, also give it Twin Strike. And we've got a lot going on with this card, but even a 2 mana 2/3 isn't terrible. And then when you look at that roar effect, I mean that roar effect is kind of strong, I'd say.
I really like this card, and this is one of the ones that I think you could run it in aggro and control. It's just that good. And it's a Viking. You can't be overlooking these Viking tags nowadays. You know, it means something. So I think this is definitely one of the stronger cards. It helps war just get ahead early. It just disgusting.
Yeah, it helps.
If you're frenzied, yeah. I mean, you don't even need to be frenzied with this one. Like Twin Strike is good, but you know you don't need it. The 1/1 is good enough, and the frenzy is just on top of it.
Yeah, it seems really good. It seemed like almost every war deck I faced was running this card, and so with some of the war cards, you know, they're a little strong, too strong, and some of them are most likely going to be changed. I think the Rolling Thunder card, that's been confirmed, that's going to be changed. So I'm wondering if this is going to be another one that the balance team is going to look at and maybe adjust.
I don't think so. I mean, it's not like overpowered, you know. It's good stats. It's a strong card. I would not call it overpowered. I think they have other things to worry about than Inspiring Scout. Great card though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What is this next card here?
The next card is the Rage-Filled Hammer.
What is that?
It's a 2 mana relic. So it says Blitz at the end of your turn. If you are frenzied, give +2 strength to this relic. So I think how this works is, you know, you put it on, you're hitting face, and then I think they want you to just like hold on to it for a turn or two. You build up the strength, which it seems slow, and also it only has 1 durability. So I mean, this one can get easily removed, and I think it'd feel pretty bad to be hanging on to this each turn, building up the strength, just for your opponent to play some relic removal, and it all goes bye-bye. But I don't know. I didn't see this card played at all.
Nah, we're not going to see this card played at all.
I don't think it's good.
Compares the Enduring Shield, which is unfair because that card is disgusting. But you can even compare it to the 3/2, and you can compare it to Valky's Captain, the card that we're about to review. This card is trash, and you don't want that many relics in your deck anyway. So
right, yeah, we're it has so many good relics in it. Like, why would you run this over, Enduring Shield, the Rune Blade, Magic Missile Launcher? Like, it doesn't seem good. But this next card, though.
Yeah, look at this one.
Valky's Captain. So this one is a creature. It's a 2-mana, 3/2. Already good stats. Viking, again. And the Roar effect. Equipped a 1/1 Barbed Hooked. If you are frenzied, give that relic +2 strength. So you end up getting, if you're frenzied, you end up getting a 3/1 relic. And a 3/2 creature, all for 2 mana. Which is incredibly strong.
Yeah, you can compare this to the 1-mana 1/2 that equips a 1/2 relic. That Viking. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but
I don't remember the name of that card, but it's just better than that.
Oh yeah.
Because you get more attack on your relic. It's better in the aggro matchups and in control. This card might see play in slower war decks. Not sure, but it's definitely good in aggro. It's crazy in aggro.
Yeah, and this is like, what's another way to set up your Carnage Sweep too? And I mean, the 3/1, you can kill a lot of creatures with a 3-attack relic. It seems like just a good card all around.
Definitely one of the stronger cards.
For sure. So moving on here, we got the Battle Artisan. It's a 3-mana, 3/3. He's got the Blessed effect, and it said after this creature attacks, add a random relic to your hand. And this one is actually an Olympian, has the Olympian tag. So I don't think I saw this one too much. I think there might have been a couple people testing it. Doesn't seem terrible, but you look at some of these other war cards, and I mean, you only have so many slots, right?
Yeah, I saw someone running this in the Discord. They said they got Enduring Shield off of it, and it was insane. But so I mean, when it high rolls, but it's not a Viking. It's statted fairly. Blessed. What are you doing with that? It's pretty bad. It's not guaranteed to attack either.
Yeah, it could just get removed as soon as you play it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, thinking in Onslaught on 5, you can rush it for a random relic. How good is your average random relic? It's not Enduring Shield level, So it's
true. Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting card, but I think we're gonna have to pass on this one, at least for now.
Yeah, not quite good enough.
Yeah, so next we've got the Looting Squire. It's a 3/1 guild. I don't think there's a whole lot of guild creatures in the war domain, but this one has a tag, and the text reads, whenever another one of your creatures are destroyed, give +1 armor to this creature. And I didn't see this card played too much, but I kind of like this one. I mean, I think there's probably better creatures to run right now, but I could see how you could set this up. If you had a board, play this for 3 mana, make some value trades, and you build up some armor on it. And like, the armor is just gonna keep building too if they don't take care of it. So this could potentially be it's one of those snowball cards. So I don't know if you saw this one played too much. I mean,
no, I didn't see this one played, but it's not. I don't think it's that bad. There's that one 3-mana neutral card that's a 3/1 with armor 1. So, and that card's not terrible, I guess. But I mean, if you get at least 2 armor on it, it's probably. But to get 2 armor on it, you need to kill off 2 of your creatures.
yeah.
So whether that's just trading or something, and
Yeah, so it's situational.
Yeah, it's situational.
There's a lot of cards from this set. I noticed this. There's a lot of cards in this set that are like situational. Like, oh, this card could be really good, but for it to be really good, this has to happen and that has to happen, and like, it's not always easy to line up those interactions. So
Yeah.
I think this card is like maybe like a 3 out of 5 for me, or like a
Give it a
5
2.
out of 10, a 2 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 10. That seems about right. All right, so we've got our first legendary here, Odie Valky's Herald. I'm sure you guys have seen this one. So it's a 3-mana legendary, 3/2. But if you read the text, he's got backline, he's got protected, and it says whenever this creature attacks your opponent's god, reduce a random highest mana cost creature in your hand by 1. And it's also a Viking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card's insane. This was one of the most expensive legendaries from Divine Order for like a couple days after the release, and you know it does a lot. There's a 3/2 with protected already in War, and this is just that card but better.
Way better.
Just way better. You can run this in a slower version of War. I did this in the PTR. I ran this card with the Poly and the Daemon Prince, and you know I was playing Poly on 7 mana. Like, you know what happened? You just win the game. So definitely crazy high roll potential with this if you can get it to attack the face. And in aggro, it's something that they need to deal with, or you're just going to be, you know, spamming the board even faster. And it's a Viking. You know, it's a Viking. Like, you're running this in every war deck. So.
Yeah, this is a card that I think you would run in any war deck. It just seems really good. It's like got that flex. I mean, you can get a Poly out early, you can get the Demon Prince out early. I know people have done that to me playing Control. And it's also hard to remove too, because it's got the backline, it's got the protected, and if you're running the aggro deck, I mean it's not hard to buff this up too, give it more health and strength. Like, it seems really good.
Yeah, definitely one of the stronger cards.
For sure. Alright, next we got 3-mana spell, Sound the Charge, give +1 strength and blitz to each creature in your hand. It reminds me of that, what's the card called? It's like, give a creature +1. It's kind of like that, but it's a little bit different. I don't think I saw this one played too much.
No, a Magic player played this against me. I'm not sure how, but it was pretty strong when they played it. If you get this off on a couple of creatures, it's pretty good.
I guess so.
You know, the fuller your hand, the better. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of a scenario where that's.
It's situational.
Possible. Yeah, it's situational. I guess.
I almost feel like this would be better in a slower deck.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe you play like a heavy draw deck, and then you just play Sound the Charge, and you know you have Onslaught on all your creatures.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it that way, it seems pretty good. So maybe this card does need to be experimented with a little more.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Not as good as this next card, but
yeah, not as good as this next. And the next card is the Thunder Caller. And you guys know, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a 3-mana 3/3 Viking, but here's the kicker. At the end of your turn, if you are frenzied, give +1/+1 to each of your Vikings, and that can happen every turn. Every turn you have frenzied. So this card's broken.
yeah, I think one way they could fix this card is give +1/+1 to each other Viking, so it doesn't buff itself too.
I've seen that proposal. I've also seen people say if it only did it for 1 turn, the turn it's summoned, that might be. I mean, I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah, I don't know how you fix this card, because whatever you do to this card, it's the same thing happens to Rolling Thunder. So you need to make sure they're both, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to kill the cards. You don't want to kill the cards off. I'd be fine with that, but you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to kill it off, because I mean, it is an epic. You know, it's a very popular card right now. but it is an epic, and I believe that the epic and legendary cards, they should be strong. They should be stronger than the average card. So I don't want to see this card completely neutered, but in its current state, it's just way too oppressive. So yeah, they gotta do something, dude.
Yeah, something like, I mean, we're just running all Vikings, and then this card's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like not buffing it because that also nerfs Rolling Thunder. So they would all be what? They'd all have one less.
You're saying
that's not even that.
Change it to each other Viking?
Yeah, that doesn't even nerf Rolling Thunder that well. No, they'd all just be one less. They'd be 6/6s. Never mind.
Yeah, it's
Never mind. That's not the answer.
well. I mean, that could be
Still good.
a start though, and then they change Rolling Thunder more.
Yeah, I mean we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta start somewhere, and maybe start with that, see how it goes, and I'm not sure what other tweaks you can make. I also think that if it was just for one turn, that wouldn't be terrible either. But I mean, you'd still get the like 7/7s off Rolling Thunder. So I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't fix it.
Doesn't completely fix it, but yeah. So this card, it's just, you guys know, it's crazy. Likely be changed. We're not really sure what they're gonna do to change it, but I'm sure it'll still be like pretty decent after the changes though.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's move on. We got the 3 mana 2/1 Valcner cavalry. This is a blitz, twin strike, and armor 1 Viking. I actually packed this one in diamond. I believe it's still on the marketplace if anyone wants to buy it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to shit on the card. It's
I know it's not that great.
it's not that good. The 1 armor when you're trying to attack and kill things is not that good. I tried it. It's not that good. But you look at Bronze Gate, like that card's crazy. It only has 1 armor.
Yeah, but it has more than 1 health though.
Exactly, it's 4 health, and they have to attack it. Whereas this, you're running into stuff that, I mean, the only time this doesn't die right away is if you're hitting something with 1 attack. How often is that happening? Like, never. So it's really just a 3 mana 2/1 with Blitz. And that card already exists in Chariot, the Genesis Hiskian Chariot.
And that has protected.
Yeah, that one has protected. So that one's just better than this card, in my opinion. This needs like 2 armor. If this had 2 armor, it actually might be really good. But 1's just, or 2 health maybe, something like that. Give it another attack. Something needs to happen with this card.
Something, yeah. Yeah, it's not that great right now. I'm trying to think of a situation. I guess if you somehow buff this up, it'd probably be pretty good. But again, we're going back to that, like, this has to happen and this has to happen, and then maybe you could make something happen. So
maybe it's good.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a pass for me.
Yeah.
All right, so here's an interesting one, and we're up to 4 mana already. This one is another round. It's a spell. Give a friendly creature +3/+3, and at the end of your turn, if you are frenzied, give a random creature in your hand +3/+3. And this effect actually stays on the creature as well. So if the creature doesn't die, it keeps on buffing up, and it keeps on buffing in your creature in your hand if you have frenzied. So this card seems good.
This card is busted. This card is crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
I think people might be sleeping on this card because of how good all the other war cards are right now. But once those get toned down, I mean, hopefully this card gets toned down in the same patch that tones all of them down, because this one's crazy. I didn't realize how good it was until it was pointed out to me, and then I played against it. Because it's not in every deck. It's not in every war deck right now. So I don't know why, but it should be. It's crazy.
Yeah, you have to remove it right away, and it's like not always easy to do because you know, at 4 mana, you've got creatures on the board. Like, you're likely looking at like a 5/5 or a 6/6. Like, it's not always easier to move, and it just gets out of control. Yeah, this card, it seems good. I think this might be another one they have to look at. But it reminds me of that card, the nature card. It's called Jump On It, I think, or something like that.
Something like that.
But it has the same effect. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as this, but...
No, I'm pretty sure that was 4 mana, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that card doesn't really see play, though, so maybe they change this to be a little bit better than that, but not quite as crazy as what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... good card. Let's take a look at this one, the Archangel Bruiser. It's a 4 mana 5/2 Aether, and this one has Blitz, Roar. If you are frenzied, give overkill to this creature. I saw this one played quite a bit this weekend, and it seems pretty good. It doesn't seem too oppressive. Like, yeah, what do you think of this one?
So I was making an onslaught deck, and I had the 2 mana Fella Tracker, the 5/1 in, to blitz it into high health creatures. And then I saw this card. I'm like, this card is just better than that, you know? Like, it has more health. It already has the blitz, so it's 4 mana for a 5/3 instead of 4 mana for a 5/1 with blitz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it has overkill potentially. So I like this card in a slower war deck, and I'm not sure. It's probably fine in aggro decks too. I mean, it's not a Viking, but the blitz to get through frontline is pretty useful. 3 health, survives a Pyramid Warden, you know?
Yeah, I think this card's good in all decks, like you were saying, and it seems like it's in a good spot. In an aggro deck, this is like to help you continue the tempo, right? Clear front line, maybe kill a bigger minion with it. It seems pretty decent.
Yeah, I like that card. It's a sleeper. It's not a Viking, no one's running it right now, but...
Yeah, it is a sleeper.
They will.
But yeah, people are waking up. Okay, next we have the Enraging Talisman. It's one of the talismans. Each god got a talisman with the new set. This one, it says, after you attack an enemy creature with this relic, if it survives, give the creature at the start of your turn, give each enemy creature +1 strength. It's a 1/4. So it's kind of a lot to take in, but I think what happens here is like you hit a creature with it, and then you pass the turn, and then at the start of their turn, each enemy creature +1 strength. So that's my creature. So if I hit someone with a talisman and it lives, as soon as I pass the turn, my creatures are all going up 1 strength. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't see this one played too much. Like, I don't know if this one's good or not. I mean, it could potentially be good if you had a big board, but I don't think it's like a game changer.
I don't think this card's very good. I don't think any of the talismans are good. So they might all get a buff or something, because this one, it's just so slow. It's so slow. It is slow.
All of them are slow, dude.
Like if Aggro War played this against me, I'd be like, finally, I can breathe for a turn, and you know, destroy his board. Like, what? Why would you spend your turn playing this thing? You know,
4 mana, and this does not have blitz either, so you'd have to wait a turn before you could actually attack something with it. I think, you know, especially in aggro, there's way better options for 4 mana.
Yeah, you're not playing this. I think they could all use a buff, to be honest.
Probably. I mean, they are all rares, and like, I thought it was a cool idea. Each one gets a talisman with different effects, but so far I haven't seen a single one that I'd consider running.
Yeah, no, I haven't either.
All right, well, moving on. Got our next legendary. We got the Grand Hall. It's a 2/5 structure with backline, can't attack. After you summon another war creature, Give it +2 strength if you are frenzied. Also give it twin strike. So this card doesn't seem bad at first. Like, those are good buffs. But at 4 mana, I think it's a little slow. And I'm not sure if I really saw this one played too much either.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
So it doesn't seem bad, but I just don't think it fits with like how war is currently being played. And it might just be too slow.
Yeah, I think it's too slow, but I tried it in like a slower war deck and it was still too slow. So I don't know, it might be too slow.
Yeah.
And it only buffs the war creatures. I mean, if it said all
yeah.
creatures, it actually might be too good because it even buffs creatures that like summon creatures. You know, like you play the 1/1 that summons the 1/1 with frontline, they both get buffed. If it said neutral, if it buffed everything, but it doesn't. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they didn't do it or something. But it could use some love. This card could use some love for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see a legendary not being played or like not being good.
I mean, yeah, it is early. You know, it could be something with it that we're not seeing, but it seems weak for sure.
Right. All right, let's keep on going. We've got another interesting card here.
Yeah.
How do you say this? The Revered Sear. And it's a 4 mana 3/3 Viking. I'm sure you guys have seen this one, but at the end of your turn, give +1/+1 to a random creature in your hand. If you are frenzied, also give +1/+1 to each of your creatures on the board. And it's a 4 mana 3/3 Viking. I think this was the one, like, the people that were discussing the overpowered cards from the war domain were saying that this was the worst one. You're just buffing, like, it's insane.
What? Well, you said like they think this is like the best one.
They were saying this was the most broken one.
Oh yeah, dude, I might agree. Actually, I don't agree, and here's why. This card is only good if you're frenzied. So you compare it to the Thundercaller, where it is also only good if you're frenzied. It's just a more expensive Thundercaller, but you need to be frenzied or else you don't even want to play this thing. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you can still give 1/1 to a creature in your hand without being frenzied.
For a 4 mana 3/3, I don't know, man. This is.
But it goes. It goes each turn that this lives. It goes.
Listen, don't get me wrong. This card is busted and needs nerfed, but I don't think it's more busted than Thundercaller. That's just my opinion. But it's crazy. I mean, you just run them all they're all Vikings. Why is every card a Viking? Why is everything a Viking? I mean, this card's crazy.
Yeah.
This card's crazy.
They're both crazy.
Yeah, they're both crazy. Like,
yeah, so Revered Sear.
I don't even know how you fix this one.
And I mean, I played against so many Slayer decks this weekend, and I know you did too, but every single one of them had Thundercallers, the Revered Sears, and then most of them had Rolling Thunder, at least one or two. I know some people didn't run the Rolling Thunders, but yeah, all of those cards are.
Yeah, I think I just read the card again. This thing buffs itself too.
It does, yeah.
Just like the Thundercaller, and I think that's definitely part of the problem because like it's buffing your whole board and you can't even deal with because it's a 4/4. You can't even deal with this thing.
Right. Yeah, and it almost always is a 4/4 too. I mean, you could just play this on the board, but it's a good chance that you have the board, or if you don't have the board, you'd probably be saving this until you can play it, or you just hit the Slayer GP and then throw this down. Like,
yeah, or you have a relic up,
or a relic, yeah.
Totally likely.
It's
crazy.
Oppressive, and it's part of the issue why war is just going ham right now.
Yeah.
All right, Cage Berserker. I thought this was a cool card. Very strong. Another one that was part of that Divine Order preview. So this one's a 5 mana 2/2 Viking, but if you read the text, it's got Blitz. and it says, at the end of your turn, if you are frenzied while this card is in your hand, give it +2/+2. So me being a control player and playing against a lot of war this weekend, we see this card a lot. And typically when it comes out, it's at least a 10/10. Sometimes like a 13/13 or something. And like this is a Viking too, so it can get the buffs from the Thundercallers, the Sears. So typically when these come out, they're big boys.
Yeah, I was sleeping on this card for sure. I thought it'd be too awkward to hold this, but I mean, it's really just not. I mean, War's frenzying you every turn for all their other cards, so if this just happens to be in your hand, it just happens to get pretty big pretty fast, you know? Like, it's... I literally did see a 14/14 one of these. It almost killed my poly, dude. Not quite, but it, you know, I thought he was going to. So I mean, this thing's crazy.
It's nutty. I think it's almost always, if you start with it in your opening hand, then it's going to be at least an 8/8 if you get frenzied each turn. And like an 8/8 with Blitz at 5 mana, that's kind of, it seems too strong.
It's pretty good. I mean, it is a dead card in your hand until 5 mana.
True.
But it's pretty good. I don't think it's overpowered, by the way. It is a Viking, so you know, of course you run it.
Yeah.
But I don't say it's overpowered.
Yeah, I don't know if it's overpowered. Like it doesn't seem as broken as some of the other ones, but it's definitely strong.
Yep. Yeah. I don't even know if that's fair to say because the other ones are just so strong. So it's hard to compare it to them.
It is hard to compare. Yeah.
This card's probably fine because it is sometimes bad to have it just sitting there.
Right. I like the idea behind this card though. Like,
yeah,
it's like a better Herdicus almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good one. Now moving on to not so good one, the Ravenous Chimera. This is a 5 mana 5/3 Olympian with Blessed and Twin Strike. I don't think I saw this card played.
Nope. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know why you would ever run this. Unless there's some blessed synergy that you're trying to go for. But like, why would you be doing that? You know?
Right.
Seems really weak. It's kind of like that 5/5 Valcner, a weaponsmith that with Twin Strike. You know what I'm talking about? That buffs your relic too. It's kind of like that when you compare. Yeah, trials. And when you compare it, it's like, why would you ever run this one? Because that one has Twin Strike too, and buffs your relic. So you're losing 2 health and a relic buff for blessed, and that is it's just not worth that much. They're overvaluing blessed.
The other one is a Viking as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So this one there is just better cards to run. You know, maybe we'll see some stuff happen with Blessed, but I'm not seeing it quite yet, at least. All right, next we got the Smith's Hammer. So this is a 5 mana relic. It's kind of steep. 1 attack, 2 durability, and it's after you attack with this relic, give +1 armor to each friendly creature. So you're maybe giving 2 armor to each of your creatures, which doesn't seem bad, but it's way too slow because it's 5 mana. You have to wait a turn. It's gonna be 3 turns before you can even get the armor on your creature. I don't know. This one doesn't seem that good.
Yeah, you know what card this is? This is Wildroot Staff, except probably worse. Maybe better. It's worse. It's actually worse than Wildroot Staff, and that card doesn't see any play. So think about it like that. It's like, wow, this card is trash. I don't know. It's just so slow. Like the meta is just too fast.
Yeah, meta's way too fast for anything like this to be viable. So it's gonna be a pass.
Absolutely not.
All right, now we've got another Olympian here, and there's quite a few Olympians added in. Obviously not as good synergies as the Viking tribe, but we've got Olympian here. It's a 5 mana 3/4 Tartesian minotaur. Its roar: Give +2 strength to your other Olympians. If you are frenzied, also give them overkill. It reminds me of what's it called from the core set, the satyr singer or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Thanks. Yeah, the 4-mana 2/4. That gives
Yeah.
+2 strength. Is that the one? Is that what it does?
Yeah. It reminds me of that a little bit. But I think that card might even be better than this, because this one's 5 mana for 1, and
Yeah.
the buff only goes on Olympians. I mean, you could give them overkill if you have the frenzied, but
Yeah, now that you say that, I agree. This card is just worse than Sing Song Satyr, which is already not that good. So, but there are some Olympians in War, that are just like Hephaestus. It has Olympian. It equips a weapon if you have like 3 Olympians in your void, and Jason's an Olympian. Like there's some Olympians,
right.
So, but I mean, I just don't think you'd even. I don't think there's enough, and it definitely isn't enough for an archetype. Maybe in the future, but I mean, but okay, even if there isn't enough, this is literally just a worse Sing Song Satyr, you know? Is Sing Song Satyr buff 2 attack?
I think so, yeah. +2 attack to your board.
Dude, why'd they make it? This card's just worse than that.
Yeah, so this is gonna be another pass for me.
Okay, hold on. Sing Song Satyr is +1 strength.
Oh, it's only
Okay.
+1?
+1, I just looked it up. And it's a 2/3. Wow, I really had that card.
Well, you never see it played, so
I never see it. So
How
this
did you
is
know?
1 more mana for 1 more strength, and 1/1 in stats. Okay, so I actually think it's better than Sing Song Satyr,
yeah,
but I wouldn't say it's
it's not that much better.
no.
Yeah, plus, I mean, with the Viking synergies, I mean, the Viking synergies are just so much better that I don't
Yeah,
think...
imagine it would replace all Olympians with Viking on this card. Like, jeez, that'd be a card, dude.
Yeah.
Buffed your Vikings, it was a Viking. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. So we've got our another legendary. This one's Einer. I think I said that right. The Frozen King. He's a 6 mana, 6/6 Viking, and this card's kind of interesting. So it says at the end of your turn, if you are frenzied, your strongest creature attacks the weakest enemy creature. So you can be giving your creatures an extra attack with this card. At first, I didn't think it was good at all, but I've had a couple matchups where this has been played against me and like cleared off my board, and I was like, oh wow, like that worked quite well there. So I don't know if you've seen this one played at all, or
Not really. It doesn't seem that bad. It can hit hidden creatures, which is worth noting.
yeah.
But it's 6 mana. It's a little hefty, but you know, I don't think it's that bad. It is a Viking too, so you can't sleep on it.
Yeah, and I mean, right now there's cards that are overshadowing this one for sure, but I think it has some interesting utility and could probably be pretty good.
Most likely, this is going to be your strongest creature when you play it. So it's really this thing attacking the weakest creature.
Yeah.
So, well, if this didn't say if you're frenzied, do you think it? I mean, it'd be a lot better, but I don't know. It might be too slow with the frenzy thing because you can't even play it on 6 unless you're ahead on board or have a board.
Right.
So maybe an aggro, it's fine.
And the fact that I'm seeing that, yeah, it makes me think that this was designed to be played in an aggro deck, right?
Yeah, maybe I was gonna say maybe top end for aggro, but you already have Rolling Thunder, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe.
So that's some potential just getting
Yeah.
overshadowed right now. And speaking of Rolling Thunder, I mean, do we need to even talk about this card, or?
No, this card is disgusting. I can't believe I didn't pack any, dude.
I didn't either, bro. I had so many
Traded.
epic packs too. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I probably would have just sold mine, but yeah, the Rolling Thunder, it's 6 mana, summon 2/3/3 Thunder Callers, which is the card we were looking at earlier. If you're a Frenzied, summon 4 instead. So usually when this is played, you're playing it when you have Frenzied, and it ends up being 4/7/7 Thunder Callers, which is almost impossible to deal with. I mean, there's some cards that can deal with it. I think each domain has like 1 or 2, but it's extremely difficult to deal with. I mean, especially if you're an aggro deck going up against this, it's almost impossible. And the worst part is, so they get 4/7/7s, or you get 4/7/7s if you play this when you're frenzied, and then your next turn they're all gonna buff up again. To what, like a 13/13 for each one?
11s.
11/11.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
Yeah, it is too strong, and it's gonna be fixed somehow. We're not really sure how. I mean, the community has made some propositions. We've talked about them a little bit, but I think they have to do something, because right now War, it's just way out of whack.
It's crazy. War has so many. Their early game is crazy with Enduring Shield. Their mid game is crazy with the Sears and Thundercallers, and then their late game is this thing. Like, no class is even coming close to this. Like, this isn't even a real meta, dude. Like, the War is so far and away the strongest. It's just so overtuned. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, so you guys out there that have this card, I mean, enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, from an investment standpoint, like, who knows what this is going to be looking like after they change it, so wouldn't necessarily ape into these, but yeah, I mean, I think this card was probably the most desired card out of the Divine Order set when the packs were released. Just insane.
Yeah, the free wins with this thing.
Free wins. For sure. Okay, so now we're getting to some of the more interesting cards. We've got 3 7-drops and a 9-drop. Let's start with this first one. We got the Chieftain of Impulse. 7 mana, 5/5. This one's got Blitz. And it says, after a friendly creature enters the board, give it Blitz and +2 Strength. And this one is also a Viking. So right away at 7 mana, here's how I kind of judge these 7 mana cards, especially the creatures. At 7 mana, you're gonna be playing either a mid-range or a control deck, right? More than likely. So at 7 mana, we have cards like Demogorgon, which are crazy good. I've always been a control standard. So if I'm playing a control deck, I'm looking at the 7-drops and I'm thinking, like, is this gonna be as effective to put in my deck as a Demogorgon? And now, I mean, this one does have Blitz, so you could have a little bit of board control there. It says after a friendly creature enters the board, give it Blitz and +2 Strength, which is really only good if you've got a board. And typically in control, you probably don't have much of a board. If you're playing a mid-range deck, then maybe you'd have a board, and this could be something that would send you even further down the tempo train tracks. But yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it played at all. I don't know. Have you seen this card played at all?
I've not seen this card played at all, but it got me thinking, like, with all these Vikings, what if you were running like a Valka's Axe type deck with this thing? It's, get up to like a 9/9 or something with Blitz. That's living, that's probably living. And then you have the Blitz and +2 Strength for next turn. I don't know, it might be something crazy there with Valka's Axe, but right now it's too slow. But I think don't think I'd sleep on this card. Like, that effect is crazy. It's like a 2 mana effect, Blitz +2 Strength, maybe 3 mana, probably 2 mana. it's not bad. Just a little slow, that's all.
Yeah, it's a little slow and like doesn't really fit with how the decks are being built right now, but just it doesn't mean this couldn't shine in a different style of deck in the future, for sure.
Yeah, there's probably something with this card. Just not now.
Right. So this next one, I like this card, and I've talked about this already, but we got the Soul Survivor, another one of the preview cards. I believe it was Crumpy Lumpkins that revealed this one. So it's a 7-mana spell, actually, and it says give +5 strength to one of your creatures, then deal its strength as damage to each other creature. And that would include your own creatures, but I saw this card and I thought it's almost like a soft board clear. It does have it's situational in that you need to play it on top of a creature. But I thought this was an interesting card for War, because War, as far as board clears go, you only have your current sweeps, and if you want that to be a board clear, you also have to have a relic, which it's another situational thing. So I thought this card could maybe be good, and then so you get the board clear if you play it how I'm envisioning it in my head. You get the board clear, plus you get a creature, a static creature with +5 strength on it. So it seemed pretty decent to me. I think Clutch has a different opinion on this one.
I think you named like the optimal scenario. I'm not sure how likely that is to go off there. I think this card's trash. It's trash because you need the board to be able to play this onto something. And then if you have the board, you play this and you destroy your board, except one card.
Yeah.
For 5 extra damage.
Yeah, I guess that's true, unless you like got a creature to stick, or I mean, if you played it later in the game.
It's a
9-mana. But
card.
At that point, yeah, true.
And if you're playing 2-mana creatures with it, probably doesn't even clear the board every time. So it's, I don't know. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it played, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think this, I don't know. It reminds me of End Times a lot, and End Times is an 8-mana spell that it wipes the board, and then you get a skeleton depending on how many creatures your enemy and your own creatures were destroyed. So I think it's kind of like that. I mean, you'd play it at 8 mana, or like a 7 mana in a pip, a 1-mana creature, and then play this on top of it. So it's kind of where my head was at. It reminded me of End Times, which is running almost every board wipe death deck. So I think it has potential, but in the current meta, it doesn't make a lot of sense to run this one. But I don't know if I would call it trash, though.
I like your comparison, but yeah, not sure. It definitely needs some experimentation. I haven't played it. I didn't open this card either. I got no epics, dude.
I got one of these, and I've been holding on to it because I definitely want to try it out.
Yeah.
But it's got some cool art too. I don't know. I like that one. Okay, so next we've got the Tenderizer. Now this is
I like this one.
You like this one? This one is a 7-mana relic, and what it does, so it's got Blitz. You can play it on 7 mana. As soon as you equip it, you can attack, and when you attack a creature with this relic, you give it +1 durability if it has any remaining. So what this is, it's really an infinite durability relic as long as you attack creatures. Well, I guess the only downside is, each time you're attacking a creature, you're taking damage to your face. But I mean, it pretty much clears. It's got 8 attacks, so it's clearing pretty much anything, unless it's like a 7 or 8 drop.
Yeah, this card is crazy. The Schmeat Tenderizer is what we've been calling it. So there's a card in Hearthstone it's the same thing, except it's a 7/1, and it loses attack every time you attack. a minion with it. So compare those two if you can envision that card. This one is so much better, and that one saw play in Hearthstone back in the early days, which is where we're at in GU. So this card is gonna be crazy. Imagine a control matchup, and you play the Tenderizer, dude. Like you're just wiping the board every time. You're just killing whatever they play. It's insane. And you take a little face damage. Who cares? It's a control matchup. This card's crazy. This card is crazy, dude. Yeah. And if you decide to start going face, it's 16 damage face. 16. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Yeah, it seems decent. I mean, it is 7 mana though, and I like that we're getting more options for 7 drops, so it's not just demos. And I think we're got some good ones where we're gonna have to experiment with them and see how they go.
Yeah, I'll be trying to make the Tenderizer work for sure.
Love to hear it. All right, so we've got one final card to look at. This one's super cool. It's a Negrios Demon Prince, and this card is unlike any other card we've seen before. So it is 9 mana, but it's a 12/7 with God Blitz. Now what that means is as soon as you play this on the board, you can go face. So we already got 12 damage to the dome, and it also has the effect of when this creature destroys another creature, obliterate it instead, and its roar does 6 damage to each enemy creature. So if you kill an enemy creature with the roar, it actually obliterates it, meaning it will not go in the void. So sorry death players, but you're not going to be able to bring those back or trigger afterlife effects. And this card it's pretty good, I'd say. There's also synergy with that OD card. I mean, you get this down to 8 or 7 mana and then play it. It seems pretty good. The only thing that it's just 9 mana though, and there's another card from a set that's 9 mana that is also really good, the Polyhydra. So looking at 9 mana cards, you don't want too many 9 mana cards in a control deck. You probably only want one. So what I'm wondering is, would I want to run the Demon Prince or the Poly card? And I think I'm leaning more towards the Poly card, but I don't know. What do you think?
I agree the Poly is a better card than this, but how greedy do you want to build the list? I mean, if it's a greedy meta, you definitely run them both. It's pretty good. I think I mean, it can't even kill a Poly. It can't even get through the Poly, but it can. If your opponent has any resemblance of a board and you play this thing, it's wiping the board, going face. They have to deal with it because it's so aggressively statted. It's not a bad card by any means, but it's no Poly. It doesn't win you the game when you play it, unless they're 12 HP. But unlike Poly, which you're running the game.
Yeah, Poly is just typically a game ender unless it gets cleared, and it can be cleared, but it's very difficult. This card, it seems a little bit weaker than Poly, but I mean, I can definitely see it coming in clutch, wiping the board, and then 12 damage to the face. It's
not a bad card.
It's a good card for sure.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the design as well, just because it's something different, Yeah,
not a lot of cards with God Blitz in the game, which is probably a good thing, but I like it on this one.
Yeah. All right, well that about does it. Those are all board cards. Thank you guys for sticking this one out with us. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off here, Clutch?
Thanks for having me on. I think War got a lot of crazy strong tools. We are 1 week into Divine Order already, so we played a weekend. We know there's a lot of these cards tuned a little bit, so hopefully they can get the meta in line and we can see a real Divine Order meta, you know what I mean?
For sure. Well, I appreciate you coming through tonight. And yeah, that about does it, guys. So until next time, peace.